Hello everyone, this is Abi aka onlyabidoang. Yeah, this isn't exactly an original idea since plenty of creators have done it already, but then I thought, why not make a Sims version of this? Today I'm gonna be showing you 20 minutes of completely useless information about The Sims 4. You could be doing something much more productive in the next 20 minutes, but yet here we are. Alright, ready? Let's go! Before The Sims 4 was released, there were plans to include a woohoo skill in the base game. One of the developers even confirmed its existence back in 2013 after the game was announced. But then, when the game launched in 2014, the feature was nowhere to be found. Just before release, the same developer clarified that the woohoo skill had been completely scrapped. However, remnants of this feature still exist in the game files, with some leftover codes referencing the skill. According to the 3D modeling software Blender, the height of all adult-sized Sims, including teenagers, young adults, and elders, is approximately 1.86 meter or 6 foot 1. Meanwhile, child Sims are around 1.3 meters or 4 foot 3, toddlers are about 0.92 meters or 3 feet tall, and infants measure approximately 0.66 meters or 2 foot 2. In Love Struck expansion pack, Sims with the Love Bug trait uses this animation in Create a Sim, forming a heart shape with their index and middle fingers. However, if it's an elder Sim having the trait, they will use their thumb and index finger instead. Is this the game's way of telling me I'm old? The same thing happens with the proper trait from Snowy Escape Pack. When adult Sims perform the trait's animation, they do a full bow. However, elder Sims bow slightly less. The difference also applies to the respectful introduction animation. If a Sim eats the Frank and Beans dish from the Outdoor Treat pack, they will start farting a lot afterward. Child Sims can ask adults about the moon phase each night. This doesn't have any significant effect gameplay-wise, but it changes the interaction name and speech bubble icon based on the moon shape. On a crescent moon, they will ask if the moon is a banana, on a quarter moon, a sponge, on a gibbous moon, an egg, on a full moon, cheese, and on a new moon, they'll simply ask where the moon went. In the Vampires game pack, once you reach level 8 of the Vampire Lore skill, you can grow a unique plant called the Zigzag Mosquito Trap. Its in-game description states that its scientific name is Insectum lamia simnoveri, and it's related to another plant, Laganaphylis simnoveri, which is the official scientific name for cow plants. The description even claims they belong to the same genus. But that doesn't make sense because their names clearly show they have different genus. One is Laganaphylis while the other is Insectum lamia. Once you've reached level 10 of the Patron of the Arts branch of the Painter career, you will unlock this rustic dream bed with 3 different swatches. All of them is a reference to the artworks of the famous painter Vincent van Gogh, with this red bed referencing the painting Bedroom in Arles, this yellow bed referencing the painting Sunflowers, and this starry bed referencing the painting The Starry Night. If 2 Sims with the Bro trait become best friends, they will gain an additional relationship label titled Bromantic Partner. When a Sim becomes sworn enemies with another Sim and both of them start to get their romance bar up, they will get this hot and cold relationship label first, and as they keep romancing, they will end up with this enemies with benefits label. If you play as Patchy the Living Scarecrow from Seasons pack and have him interact with the Crow from the Life and Death pack, the Show Affection interaction will be renamed into Scarecrow Snuggle. They will also get a unique moodlet exclusive to them if they snuggle or provoke the Crow. This is pretty strange because these interactions and moodlets can only be seen if you actively control a Sim. Meanwhile, you cannot add Patchy to the family through normal gameplay no matter how close you are to him, but you can with cheats. I also tried interacting with the Crow as a regular Sim wearing the Scarecrow costume given by him after you befriend him, but it still won't produce the same result. Death by eating a low-quality pufferfish nigiri from City Living pack has 3 different death animations depending on their position, one for standing, one for sitting, and one for sitting at the dining table. If a Sim tries for a baby in this lighthouse located in Brindleton Bay, the world from Cats and Dogs pack, and the baby grows up and visits the lighthouse, they will get this unique happy buff stating that the place feels familiar. Apparently, babies whose parents tried for baby here gets a hidden trait called Lighthouse Conception, and the only function it has is to give this buff when the offspring steps into the lighthouse. The Sims 4 is the only Sims game that shows a visible pee stream when a Sim pees while standing up. This is not the case in The Sims 2 or The Sims 3. If you go to Hanford on Bagley, the world from Cottage Living pack, and play any musical instruments or sing in the Bramblewood district, you will find wild birds flying and gathering around your performing Sim. If you try to play as or move in with one of the special villagers in Hanford on Bagley, their roles will be replaced by a randomly generated Sim. But it's not the same case for the garden show owners, cousins Agnes and Agatha Crumplebottom. The option to ask them to move in won't appear even if you're already close with them, and they won't appear in the Manage Household menu if you'd like to try playing as them. But if you force add them to your household with cheats, instead of having their roles be replaced by a randomly generated sim, another exact clone of Agnes or Agatha will be generated to take their place in your save file. In the City Living pack, there are 6 historical plaques scattered around the Maishuno meadows in San Maishuno. If you manage to find and read all 6 of these plaques, you will unlock a hidden achievement. You can change the direction this toilet paper is facing simply by changing its swatch. The Chased by Death trait from Life and Death expansion pack is the only personality trait to have 2 different names so far. If a ghost or a vampire have this trait, it'll be renamed into Embraced by Death, with an entirely different icon and description. Most revival animations after death show Sims floating in the air before being revived in this exact way. However, some death types have different animations. For example, deaths from Murphy beds, freezing, drowning, vending machines, dying in bed, and sitting deaths like from pufferfish nigiri, research machines, and choking on sweetheart candies have a slightly unique animation since their dying position is different from the usual, but they will still float magically. Meanwhile, Sims who die from a cow plant are simply spat out, while those who die from a meteor just stand back up without floating. If you edit a large water puddle in buy mode using the design tool, you can change its shape into this rubber ducky shape. The BFF's household in Willow Creek, consisting of Travis Scott, Liberty Lee, and Summer Holiday, actually originates from a Sims spin-off game, My Sims. Angry Sims can take an angry poop in the toilet. While it may seem no different from your regular pooping, sometimes you can see smoke coming from the toilet. If you zoom in, you'll notice a small fire lighting up inside the bowl. The same effect can also happen if a Sim uses the toilet after eating something spicy. Back in 2015, the wife of Andrew Wilson, the CEO of EA, posted a Sims render of their family on social media, which included a toddler. This led players to speculate whether toddlers were being worked on, as they weren't in The Sims 4 at the time. However, Sim guru Lindsay later confirmed that it was just a piece of art given as a gift and not a teaser for toddlers, disappointing many players. Interestingly, when toddlers were officially released in early 2017, some of the toddlers' created Sim parts, such as this beanie hat and this outfit, closely resembled the toddler render from 2015, suggesting that toddlers may have been in development since then. When toddlers were just implemented to the game in 2017, the team posted this promotional render of the toddlers, which resembles the cast of Sims from the original cover art from The Sims 4 before the rebranding. They also released a similar render when infants were introduced in 2023. Sims can have nightmares while sleeping. One of these nightmares involves becoming an ant that collects green pellets only to be sucked up by a lawnmower. This is a reference to SimAnt, an ant simulation game developed by Maxis in 1991. There's also a nightmare where they are in a reality show being criticized by a judge with a nice mustache, which could be a reference to The Sims Spark, a Sims reality competition show in 2020 featuring Dave Mayotki, aka Sim Guru Ninja, the producer for The Sims 4. Teen Sims use unique animations for certain social interactions that differ from adult Sims. These include goof around, tell joke, gossip, yell at, greet, and flirt. Servos, the playable robot from the Discover University pack, are not supposed to reproduce. But if a male servo gets abducted by aliens from Get to Work, there's a chance the game will make them pregnant and they will have an alien baby. It seems that the game forgot to exclude servos from this feature. In the Cottage Living pack, if you ask an evil chicken for help and succeed, you'll get the notification about the story of Charles the Chicken. This is both referencing Charles the evil chicken from the chicken coop object in the Sims 3 store and this iconic scene in Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
In this Winslow district of Windenburg from Get Together pack, you may encounter a rare occurrence in this exact area where a car will stop to wait for a family of ducks to cross the street. This isn't the case if a sim is in the middle of the street though. If you activate the cheat bb.show hidden objects, you might come across a bunch of empty objects in the debug section of buy mode. These have names like nothing to see here and the blank thing, with descriptions calling you out for cheating to view them. If you try to place one, it's almost nothing except for a barely visible 1 pixel white line. In the same debug section of build by mode, you can also find literal babies, one floating and one stuck in the T-pose. Both have a completely gray texture, and if you switch to live mode, they remain completely still and cannot be interacted with. If you've completed the Lord or Lady of the Knits aspiration from Nifty Knitting Stuff Pack, you'll get the ability to knit this yarny doll and sculpture, which is based on the main character of the game Unravel. When feeling confident, Sims can use a mirror to admire themselves. If a teen Sim does this, they may take it up a step further and snap a bunch of mirror selfies. After firefighters finish putting out a fire in your home, there's a rare chance they will suddenly start doing a sensual dance for no apparent reason, accompanied by a remix of the woohoo theme playing in the background. After a while, they will then finally leave. Each of the 3 main NPCs from the Star Wars game pack, which are Rey, Kylo Ren, and Honda Onaka, have unique sounding voices that no other Sims use. However, if you use cheats to control them and make them perform certain social interactions like telling jokes, flirting, or doing mischief, no voice will be produced since they were never intended to perform those interactions in the first place. There's this outfit in the Eco Lifestyle pack featuring a doodled heart pattern. Nothing's wrong with it, right? Well, when the pack first launched on June 5, 2020, the pattern originally included several doodles of the letter K. This unintentionally resembled a symbol associated with a certain hate group in the US. This was quickly patched 5 days later to the current design in a hotfix update that also addressed other game-breaking bugs. When the Cats and Dogs pack was first released in 2017, Cats and Dogs didn't have a proper death animation. They will simply sit on the floor, still conscious, until Grim arrived to take their soul. However, at some point near the end of 2017, this was changed and pets were given an actual dying animation. Strangely, this change was never mentioned in any official patch notes, so it's unclear exactly which updates made the change. The limeware platter wall decor from the For Rent pack and its description is a reference to the same object in the game The Elder Scrolls III Morrowind. If your sim browses the web using their phone, the web page that appears on their screen is a reference to Polycount, a community-based website for 3D video game artists. If you play as a ghost who died of being crushed by a vending machine, they will never be able to successfully get something from a vending machine ever again and will always get crushed if you try to shake them. In the Galloping Gulch district of Chestnut Ridge from the Horse Ranch pack, you can enter this cave called the Dread Horse Cavern to go into a text-adventure minigame with enemies to beat and puzzles to solve. You'll go up a level if you reach 100 progress points, and the enemies and puzzles get harder and harder each level. Don't even bother grinding to finish this cave, because according to its game file code, the maximum level of this cave is 1 billion, so it's practically endless. When a ghost who have reached tier 4 of their soul's journey from Life and Death pack moves on to the Great Beyond, they may drop their plumb bob on the ground, aka the diamond on top of their head. Additionally, if the dead sim is an occult sim, their plumb bob will look different, with the respective unique rings for werewolves, vampires, mermaids, spellcasters, and aliens. Sims who moved on and have unlocked all of their soul's journey as a ghost and have the Burning Soul reward trait will also produce this iridescent looking plumb bob when moving on. With this in mind, you can have a total of 12 different plumb bob variations to collect. The Nifty Knitting Stuff Pack not only introduced knitting to the game, but also 2 new stereo genres, Focus, which makes sense, and Metal for some reason. Surprisingly, Sims actually get a noticeable boost to their knitting skill when they knit while listening to metal. This is a reference to the Heavy Metal Knitting World Championship in Finland, where the participants knit while also performing in a heavy metal band. You can microwave a glass of water, and if a foodie sim takes a sip of it, they'll get this unique dance buff. In the Star Wars pack, you may notice strange alien species wandering around the vacation world of Batuu. Surprisingly, these aren't unique body features, but just headwears that any sim can wear in Create a Sim. This becomes even more obvious if you remove their clothing while wearing one of these alien headwears. The description of the Sun and Stars headstone decor from Life and Death pack is likely a reference to the character Astarion from the game Baldur's Gate 3. You may spot a group of fake sims walking down the streets in the distance if you go to San Myshuno. You can take a closer look at their low poly model by going to the free camera mode. Sims who have reached level 3 of the military career from the Stranger Flip pack can spar with other sims. The sparring animation used is actually originated from the Sim 3 World Adventure, particularly the martial arts skills where sims can also spar with others. The animation where you train using the training dummy introduced in the same pack is also taken from World Adventure. One of the swatches of the snack bag item that was introduced in an update features a set of lines in the corner that closely resembles the infamous Lost meme, a 4-panel webcomic that became widely mocked online and eventually reduced to its most minimalistic form. You may think that this sounds like a stretch, but the concept artist of this item has also confirmed this little Easter egg. In the Snowy Escape Pack, kids and teen Sims who reside in the world Mount Komorebi will automatically wear their own unique school uniform when they go to school. Sims can laugh at a broken neon sign from Get to Work Pack, but they cannot do it twice in a row for some reason. If you shift click on an object, you can set it as a Sim's head. What's interesting is that other Sims can still use the object that's already set as head. One of the Sims 4 producers straight up said that this cheat was made just for the lols. Unfortunately, you cannot make a chain of Sims on top of each other like a tower anymore. You used to be able to do that back when I tried it in 2017, but it will not work properly anymore and you'll end up with this mess instead. The bicycle from Discover University pack is called Bicycle, Bicycle, with the description saying, "We want you to ride this bicycle," referencing the lyric of the song Bicycle Race from the rock band Queen. Most of the TV scenes in The Sims 4 were actually filmed in The Sims 3. This includes not just the base game TV shows, but also the movies from Movie Hangout stuff, the new TV channels from City Living and Kids Room stuff, the karaoke screen animations, and even some console game footage. The last known instance of this was in December 2016 with the Vintage Glamour Stuff Pack, which introduced the TV Classics channel. However, this trend seemed to stop with the release of the fitness stuff in June 2017, where the Exercise Workout channel used footage from The Sims 4 instead. From that point onward, newer TV channels from packs such as those from Seasons, Dream Home Decorator, Growing Together, Host Ranch, and Lovestruck have all followed this new approach. In the Island Living pack, Sims will get tan lines that reflects to their corresponding outfit while sun tanning. This also applies to sunburned Sims. In this empty shipwreck residential lot located in Muapelam Island in Solani, if you go down to the basement, you will find this secret treasure chest hidden behind a wall. It'll be locked with statements saying that even if there's a proper key, it will not budge. Don't worry, it's meant to not be opened at all. According to its game files, the inventory of this treasure chest was disabled all along. Kind of a cruel joke for curious players though. One of the public restrooms in Solani have these male and female figure murals. Their looks could be a reference to the two main characters of the animated Disney movie Moana. If a sim gets a blind date from the Lovestruck pack, there's a rare chance their dates arrive to the date wearing a random costume, with one of them being a catfish costume. I suppose your sim can get catfish in a quite literal way. Some of the bad cuddle animations have been in the Sims 4 base game since its release, but they remained unused because cuddling on the bed was never implemented in the base game. This changes after the Lovestruck pack came out in 2024, where the animations are finally used, but not for bed cuddling. Instead, some of them are used in this romantic blanket object where Sims can cuddle together. This pack also has a bed cuddling interaction, but it uses an entirely new animation. If a regular Sim tries to eat a raw meat hunted by werewolves, they'll get this "It's raw!" angry buff. The name and the description of this buff are a reference to the celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay in the show Hell's Kitchen. Even with the highest graphic settings, all Sims feet will always have this low poly model. But then, if you take a closer look at the toenail category in Create a Sim, the feet used in the thumbnails look much more detailed, different from what we have in-game. This is actually a different yet hidden feet model just for the sake of this thumbnail. Additionally, someone by the name of Simdulgence made a mod that applies this unused feet model into your actual Sims in-game. In the Life and Death pack, you'll be able to meet this Sim living in Ravenwood named Lane Coven, and he has the good trait. You will also be able to ask about some Ravenwood rumors from the inhabitants of this world. If you're good friends with Lane and have heard a Ravenwood rumor talking about him from some of the residents in Ravenwood, such as from her fiancé's son, Nyan Spectre, at one point, Lane may call your Sim and said that he's been hiding a secret from you. If you accept this secret and then ask him about the real Lane, he will reveal that he is actually secretly evil. After knowing this, his good trait will now be changed into evil from now on. There's this decor object from the Life and Death pack called the Tiny Fungus Among Us, with a description saying that it's suspiciously cute and not the imposter. I hate to say it, but this is a reference to the game Among Us. The Bertanya teddy bear from the Vampires pack will appear invisible if you look at it from a mirror. Passerby Sims who have the bookworm trait can sometimes be seen carrying a book around. there's this unused never nude animation in the game. This could mean that a never nude trait, similar to The Sims 3, was planned to be in the game but got scrapped in the end. When using the bunk bed, clumsy Sims can sometimes fall from the top bunk bed when climbing down, or hit their head to the top bed when they're at the bottom. A rampaging werewolf is nearly uncontrollable and everyone seems to be scared of them, but toddlers and kids will instead get playful if there's a rampaging werewolf around. Kids and toddlers can also hug a rampaging werewolf with a unique interaction name, and a werewolf will always accept this. This won't calm them down though. In this exact spot in Copperdale, the world from high school years back, you can witness a ghost appearing at night in front of this old shack. Similarly, in Chestnut Ridge, the world from Horse Ranch back, you can also encounter a sighting of ghost horse across this broken bridge at night. So, what do you think of this useless Sims 4 information? Do you know any other? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. If you want more Sims videos like this, perhaps for the previous Sims games, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more if you haven't. See you later!